Solar companies will tell you their panels come with a 25-year warranty. They'll show you projections of all the money you'll save. They'll promise your system will pay for itself in 7 to 10 years, then generate pure profit for decades after that. And for a while, you believe it. You sign the contract. You watch the installers bolt those sleek black panels to your roof. You feel good about going green and saving money at the same time. But here's what those salespeople didn't tell you. That 25-year warranty isn't what you think it is. The fine print tells a completely different story. And by the time you realize what you actually signed, you might be locked into a contract that benefits everyone except you. Today, we're going to break down exactly how the solar industry built one of the most effective consumer traps in modern history. We'll look at the warranty games, the equipment failures they don't advertise, and the leasing contracts that can put a lien on your house. But more importantly, I'll show you how to actually get solar right if you still want it after hearing the truth. Let's start with the warranty, because that's where the lie begins. When a solar company says 25-year warranty, they're actually talking about two separate warranties bundled together. The first is a product warranty, which covers manufacturing defects and physical failures. The second is a performance warranty, which guarantees how much electricity your panels will produce over time. The product warranty typically lasts 10 to 12 years for most panels on the market. Some premium manufacturers offer 25 years, but the budget panels that dominate the residential market don't come close to that. So right away, half the equation doesn't even reach the magic 25-year number. But the performance warranty is where things get really interesting. Solar companies guarantee that your panels will still produce a certain percentage of their original output after 25 years. Sounds reasonable, right? Here's the catch. That guaranteed output is typically 80% of original capacity. Some warranties drop to 84% at year one and then decline further from there. So when you do the math, a 25-year performance warranty actually guarantees that your panels will lose up to 20% of their power output over that period. That degradation is built into the contract. They're not promising your panels will work like new for 25 years. They're promising they'll work at 80% capacity after 25 years. The National Renewable Energy Laboratory has studied solar panel degradation extensively. Their research shows that modern panels degrade at roughly 0.5 to 0.8% per year under normal conditions. But that's under controlled testing. Real-world conditions, including heat, humidity, dust, and installation quality, can accelerate that degradation significantly. Panels in hot climates like Arizona or Texas often degrade faster than the laboratory averages suggest. So your 25-year system might be producing 70% of its original output by the time you're supposed to be enjoying all that free electricity. And here's the kicker. The warranty only covers degradation beyond the guaranteed threshold. If your panels are producing 81% of their original output at year 20, you're technically within warranty, even though you've lost nearly 20% of your system's capacity. But the panels themselves aren't even the weakest link in the system. That honor goes to the inverter. If you don't know what an inverter does, it's the box that converts the direct current from your panels into the alternating current your home actually uses. Without a functioning inverter, your solar panels are just expensive roof decorations. Standard string inverters, which are the most common type installed in residential systems, have an average lifespan of 10 to 12 years. Some last longer, many don't. And when your inverter fails, you're looking at a replacement cost of anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000, depending on the system size and installer rates. This is the dirty secret of solar economics. Those projections showing you'll break even in year 7 or 8 don't account for the inverter replacement you'll almost certainly need before year 15. Add that cost back into your calculations, and suddenly the payback period extends significantly. Some installers now use microinverters, which are smaller units attached to each individual panel. Microinverters typically come with 25-year warranties and avoid the single point of failure problem, but they cost more upfront, and many budget installers still push string inverters because they're cheaper to install. So before you sign anything, ask specifically what type of inverter is included and what warranty it carries. If they're promising you 25 years of savings, but installing a 10-year inverter, the math doesn't work. Now let's talk about something even more concerning than equipment failures. Let's talk about solar leases. In the early days of residential solar, most homeowners bought their systems outright or financed them through traditional loans. But as the industry grew, a new model emerged. Solar leases and power purchase agreements, called PPAs, allowed homeowners to get panels installed with zero upfront cost. The pitch was simple. The solar company owns the equipment, you pay them for the electricity it produces, and you save money compared to your utility bill. No maintenance worries, no equipment ownership hassles, just savings from day one. But here's what they didn't emphasize during that sales presentation. When you sign a solar lease, the company places a UCC-1 filing on your property. This is essentially a lien. It tells anyone who searches your property records that someone else owns equipment attached to your house. If you try to sell your home before the lease ends, which is typically 20 to 25 years, you have three options. You can transfer the lease to the buyer, which requires them to qualify and agree to take it over. You can buy out the remaining lease balance, which can cost tens of thousands of dollars. Or you can pay to have the entire system removed, which also costs thousands and leaves you with a roof full of holes that need repair. Many home buyers don't want to inherit a solar lease. Real estate agents report that leased solar systems can complicate sales and sometimes kill deals entirely. The Federal Trade Commission has received thousands of complaints about solar lease practices, with homeowners claiming they didn't understand what they were signing, and those monthly savings often aren't as dramatic as promised. Solar lease contracts typically include annual escalator clauses of 2 to 3%. Your payment goes up every year. Meanwhile, utility rates don't always increase at the same pace, so that gap between your lease payment and what you'd pay the utility company shrinks over time. In some cases, it disappears entirely. You signed up for savings, and 20 years later, you're paying about the same as you would have without solar. But the problems don't stop with leases. Even homeowners who buy their systems outright face a risk that almost nobody talks about. Install bankruptcy. The residential solar industry is brutally competitive. Margins are thin, customer acquisition costs are high, and many companies operate on financing that assumes continued growth. When growth slows or interest rates rise, solar installers start failing. Over the past few years, several major residential solar companies have filed for bankruptcy or ceased operations entirely. When that happens, your warranty becomes worthless paper. The company that promised to cover your system for 25 years no longer exists. The equipment manufacturers might still honor panel warranties, but labor and installation warranties disappear with the installer. If something goes wrong with how your system was mounted or wired, you're on your own. This is why financial stability matters as much as price when choosing a solar installer. A company offering rock-bottom prices but operating on razor-thin margins might not exist in 5 years. That 25-year warranty means nothing if the company behind it goes bankrupt in year 6. So after hearing all of this, you might be wondering if solar is worth it at all. Here's my honest answer. Solar can absolutely make sense for the right homeowner in the right situation, but only if you go in with open eyes and avoid the traps that catch most buyers. First, buy your system outright if you can, or finance it through a traditional loan that you control. Avoid leases and PPAs entirely. The zero-down pitch sounds attractive, but the long-term costs and complications aren't worth it. Second, insist on microinverters or a high-quality string inverter with a full 25-year warranty. Don't let an installer cut corners on the component that's most likely to fail. Third, research the installer's financial stability before signing. Look for companies that have been in business for at least a decade. Check their Better Business Bureau ratings and online reviews. Ask for references from customers who've had their systems for 5 or more years. Fourth, read every word of your warranty documents. Understand exactly what's covered, what percentage degradation is allowed, and who's responsible for labor costs on warranty repairs. Don't let the salesperson summarize it for you. And fifth, do your own payback calculations. Don't trust the rosy projections the sales rep shows you. Factor in realistic degradation rates, at least one inverter replacement, and potential maintenance costs. If the system still makes financial sense with conservative numbers, then it's probably a good investment. The solar industry isn't all scammers and liars. There are legitimate companies installing quality systems that will perform well for decades, but they're swimming in a sea of aggressive marketers, underfunded installers, and contracts designed to benefit the company more than the homeowner. That 25-year warranty they love to advertise isn't a guarantee of 25 years of problem-free performance. It's a carefully worded document that allows for significant degradation, doesn't cover the most failure-prone component, and depends on a company staying solvent for a quarter century. The panels on your roof might last 25 years. The promises on paper almost certainly won't. If you're considering solar, you now know what questions to ask and what traps to avoid. The technology itself isn't the problem. The sales practices and contract structures are. Don't sign that contract until you've read every word. Don't trust projections that assume everything goes perfectly. And don't let anyone rush you into a decision that will affect your home and finances for the next 2 decades. That's the truth about solar that the industry doesn't want you to hear.